You fall asleep thinking everything is fine. But what if I told you that right now, tonight, the way your head turns on the pillow could quietly decide how much oxygen reaches your brain before morning? Not in a dramatic, obvious way, but in a slow, invisible way that almost nobody connects to sleep. And here's the unsettling part: most people only discover this connection after something serious happens. Now listen carefully, because what I'm about to share has nothing to do with expensive treatments, medications, or complicated medical routines. It's something far simpler and far more overlooked. Because while you're sleeping, your brain is not shut off. It's working, repairing, filtering, and yes, depending on your position, it may also be struggling to get the steady blood flow it needs. I'm Dr. Cole Brantley, and after years of studying age-related brain and heart patterns in older adults, there's one silent issue I keep seeing again and again. Yet almost no one talks about it in routine checkups. It's not just how long you sleep, it's how you position yourself while sleeping. And here's where things get serious: your cardiovascular system doesn't react the same way after 60 as it did in your younger years. Blood vessels stiffen, pressure regulation slows down, and your brain becomes far more sensitive to even small changes in circulation during the night. Now here's the part that should make you pause. Most strokes and cardiovascular events don't happen randomly. A large portion occur in the early morning hours right after waking, when your blood pressure naturally surges as your body transitions from rest to alertness. But what most people never realize is this: what happens during the night before that surge may either protect you or silently increase your vulnerability. And it can all come down to something as simple as neck angle, pillow height, or sleeping posture. Before we go any further, I want you to do something small but important. Just think about your last few nights. Did you wake up with stiffness? A dry mouth? A heavy head? Maybe you brushed it off as just aging, right? But what if those signs weren't random at all? Because in the next part, I'm going to show you the first sleep mistake that looks completely harmless, but may quietly be affecting the pressure inside your brain while you sleep. And once you hear it, you may never look at your pillow the same way again. Now here's where things start to get a little uncomfortable. Because the first sleep habit we need to talk about is something almost everyone does without thinking. You ready? Sleeping completely flat. No elevation, no support adjustment, just lying down and assuming the body will handle it. And I know what you're probably thinking: I've done this my whole life, so it can't be a problem. But here's the surprising part. After 60, your body doesn't respond to flat positioning the same way it used to. Let me explain it simply. When you lie completely flat for 7-8 hours, gravity stops helping your circulation. That means blood distribution in your brain and upper body shifts in ways you don't feel immediately, but your system absolutely responds to. Now imagine this happening night after night. Your head is level with your body, and the natural drainage pathways that help regulate pressure inside your skull are not working as efficiently as they should. You may not notice it while you're asleep, but your brain does, and this is where people often miss the early warning signs. Have you ever woken up with a dull pressure in your forehead? Or that strange heavy feeling behind your eyes that fades after an hour or two? Most people blame sleep quality or age or stress. But here's the part that rarely gets discussed clearly: those sensations can sometimes reflect how your head was positioned during the night and how fluid pressure shifted while you were lying still for hours. Now I want to be very careful here. This doesn't mean sleeping flat automatically causes damage. That's not the point. The point is balance. Because when your body ages, even small changes in pressure regulation become more noticeable internally, even if you don't consciously feel them at first. And this is why some sleep researchers now emphasize slight elevation of the upper body during rest, not stacking pillows randomly, not forcing your neck forward, but a gentle angle that supports natural flow. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Because sleeping flat is only the beginning, there's another position mistake that seems even more normal. And most people never question it at all. In fact, you might be doing it every single night without realizing it could be putting subtle strain on one of the most important pathways that supplies blood to your brain, and that's exactly what we're going to break down next. But what you learn in the next part might completely change the way you think about safe sleep positions. Now this next one is going to surprise a lot of people, because it doesn't feel dangerous at all. In fact, it often feels comfortable, even natural. But here's the catch: comfort and safety are not always the same thing when it comes to sleep posture. Let's talk about stomach sleeping. Yes, lying on your stomach. Now I know, some people swear by it. They say it helps them relax, reduces snoring, or just feels right. But here's the micro detail most people never think about. Your head has to turn to one side. for hours at a time every single night, and that's where the issue quietly begins. Because when your neck is rotated for long periods, you're not just turning your head, you're placing continuous pressure on delicate structures that were never designed to stay twisted for 7 or 8 hours straight. Now let me ask you something simple. Have you ever woken up with a stiff neck that makes it hard to turn your head for the rest of the morning? Most people shrug it off as sleeping wrong, but here's the deeper layer. When your neck is held in that rotated position for extended time, blood flow and nerve signaling in that region can become less efficient, not blocked but less smooth, less optimal, and your brain depends on extremely steady circulation during sleep to recover properly. Now here's where things get even more important for seniors. As we age, our blood vessels naturally become less flexible. That means they don't adapt as quickly to pressure or positioning changes the way they used to. So what younger bodies compensate for automatically, older bodies feel more subtly over time. And this is why stomach sleeping can quietly become more problematic later in life than it was decades ago. But here's the part that really matters. It's not just about the neck position. It's also about how your entire chest and breathing pattern change when you're lying face down. Your body has less freedom to fully expand, which can make breathing slightly shallower during deep sleep stages. And even small reductions in oxygen efficiency over many hours can affect how refreshed you feel in the morning. Now I want to be very clear again, this isn't about fear, it's about awareness, because most people never connect sleep position with how their brain feels the next day, or how clear their thinking is in the morning. They just think I didn't sleep well, but rarely do they ask why. And the truth is, stomach sleeping is only one piece of a much bigger pattern, because there's another very common habit, something people do with good intentions that can quietly create even more pressure in the neck and head region without them realizing it. And in the next part, I'm going to show you exactly what that is, and why it often goes completely unnoticed for years. Now this next mistake is one of the most deceptive ones, because it actually looks like you're doing something good for your health, and that's what makes it tricky. Let's talk about stacking multiple pillows under your head. Now at first glance it makes sense, right? More pillows means more comfort, more elevation, less acid reflux, less snoring, better sleep. In theory. But here's where the problem quietly starts. When you keep adding pillows, your head doesn't just rise, it starts to tilt forward, and that subtle forward bend is where things begin to change inside your neck and upper spine. Let me break it down simply. Your neck is designed to support a natural curve, not a forced angle. But when your chin drops closer to your chest for hours at a time, the alignment of blood flow pathways in that region can become less optimal. And here's something most people never consider. There are major blood vessels running through the neck that play a key role in supplying oxygen-rich blood to the brain. When your posture is too flexed forward, those pathways can experience extra mechanical pressure, not enough to cause immediate symptoms, but enough to affect how efficiently things flow over time. Now I want you to think about something for a second. Have you ever woken up feeling like your sleep was long enough, but your head still feels heavy, foggy, or not fully clear? Most people blame age, or stress, or poor sleep quality. But sometimes the real issue is simply the angle your head stayed in 4 hours while your body was supposed to be recovering. And here's the emotional part people don't talk about enough. You can sleep 7-8 hours and still wake up feeling like your brain never fully reset. That disconnect is frustrating and often misunderstood. Now here's the surprising twist. It's not always about sleeping less. It's often about sleeping in a position that allows your body to fully relax without forcing your neck into a compressed angle. And this is why sleep experts often recommend a single properly supportive pillow instead of multiple stacked ones, something that maintains alignment rather than bending it. But here's where things get even more important. Because even if you fix your pillow setup, even if you fix your sleeping position, there is still one very common nighttime habit that can quietly undo all of it without people realizing it. And in the next part, I'm going to show you the one evening routine mistake that can silently affect your heart, your circulation, and even how stable your sleep becomes throughout the night. And this is where everything starts to connect in a much bigger way. Now this is where the story takes a more serious turn. Because we're no longer just talking about position anymore. We're talking about what your body is doing right before you even get into bed, and this one is incredibly common: late eating and alcohol close to bedtime. Now I know this doesn't sound dramatic at all. In fact, for many people it feels like a normal evening routine. Dinner around 8, a bit of TV, maybe a snack, maybe a glass of wine, and then straight to bed a couple of hours later. But here's what's happening inside your body that most people never consider. After you eat a full meal, your body redirects a large amount of blood flow toward digestion. That means your stomach and intestines become the priority system for circulation. Now that alone isn't a problem. If you stay awake and moving, but when you lie down too soon after eating, your body is suddenly trying to manage digestion in a horizontal position where circulation patterns are already shifting. And that's where things can feel off during the night. Now add alcohol into the picture. Alcohol doesn't just relax you, it changes how your blood vessels behave. It can cause fluctuations in blood pressure during the night, sometimes rising, sometimes dropping, as your body tries to stabilize itself. And here's the part people usually miss. You might not wake up fully aware of it, but your body can still respond internally: heart rate changes, subtle sleep interruptions, brief awakenings you don't remember. Then in the morning you just feel off, tired, slightly restless, not fully recovered, and you assume it's just aging. But sometimes it's not age at all, it's timing. Now here's something important to understand: your cardiovascular system doesn't just pause at night. It continues working, regulating, adjusting, reacting to everything you did before sleep. So if digestion is still active, or alcohol is still circulating, your body is not fully in recovery mode, it's in adjustment mode, and that makes deep, restorative sleep harder to maintain consistently. Now I want you to think about your own routine for a second. How close is your last meal to your bedtime? Be honest with yourself here. Because most people underestimate this gap, and this is where small changes can create surprisingly big improvements, even shifting dinner a couple of hours earlier, or avoiding alcohol closer to sleep, can noticeably change how stable your night becomes. But here's the bigger picture. Because once you understand all these patterns: sleep position, neck angle, pillow habits, and evening routines, you start to realize something important. Sleep is not just rest, it's a system, and small disruptions in that system can add up quietly over time. Now in the final part, I'm going to bring everything together and show you the two safest, most supportive sleep positions that actually help your body work with gravity instead of against it. And this is where everything finally clicks into place. Now let's bring everything together, because this is where the real clarity happens. You've just seen how small, unnoticed sleep habits: pillow height, neck angle, stomach sleeping, late meals, can quietly stack together over time. But the big question is this: if so many positions can work against your body, then what does a genuinely supportive sleep position actually look like after 60? Let's break it down in a simple, practical way. First option, left side sleeping, the most naturally supportive position. Now here's why this one stands out. When you lie on your left side, your body aligns more naturally with how blood returns to the heart. Gravity helps rather than resists circulation. That means your heart doesn't have to work as hard during the night just to maintain steady flow. And here's something even more important that researchers have observed. When your body is in a stable side position during deep sleep, the brain's natural cleanup system becomes more efficient. This system is responsible for clearing waste products that build up during waking hours. Now I want you to really think about that. Your brain isn't just resting at night, it's actively cleaning itself. And the position you sleep in can influence how smoothly that process happens. Now if you're not used to side sleeping, don't force your body overnight. Instead, use something simple: a pillow between your knees and a supportive pillow in front of your chest, so your body doesn't roll backward unconsciously. Small adjustments, big difference in comfort over time. Second option, elevated back sleeping for those who can't sleep on their side. Now, for some people, due to shoulder pain, hip discomfort, or long-term habit, side sleeping just isn't realistic, and that's okay. But flat back sleeping is not the best alternative here. Instead, think elevation. Not just a thick pillow under your head, but a gentle incline for your entire upper body. This subtle angle helps reduce pressure buildup, supports easier breathing, and allows more natural circulation throughout the night. And if you add a small pillow under your knees, your lower back relaxes as well. This combination creates a more balanced resting posture: less strain, less compression, more stability. Now here's the key idea I want you to remember. It's not about perfection, it's about reducing unnecessary strain while your body is trying to recover. Final message: this is what really matters. If you take only one thing from this entire video, let it be this: your sleep is not passive. It is an active biological process where your brain, heart, and circulation are constantly adjusting based on how you position yourself. And the good news: you don't need extreme changes to improve it. You just need awareness and a few consistent adjustments. So tonight, don't try to fix everything at once. Just choose one thing. Adjust your pillow height, shift your sleeping position, or change your evening routine timing. Small decisions, repeated daily, are what shape long-term health outcomes. And if this helped you understand your sleep in a new way, consider subscribing because in the next video I'll show you early morning warning signs your body may already be giving you that most people completely ignore. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.